Julian and Christine in the season finale of Love After Lockup. I gotta say, Christine has really grown on me. I wasn't too sure about her at first. I really thought she was gonna be one of those girls that just got out and used Julian and relapsed. But it seems like she's been one of the few inmates that has got out, got a job, is making an effort to changing her life around. Outside of the whole Walmart incident, and for those of you guys who don't know, 2 weeks after Christine was released from jail, her and Julian got caught stealing from Walmart for her daughter's birthday party. They were stealing gifts, and Christine just got cited with a ticket because she ended up being honest with the officer and pretty much ratted Julian out. She didn't full on say like, oh yeah, he was stealing, but Julian was denying that he was with Christine. And when they asked Christine, were you with Julian? She's like, yeah. So that ended up getting him in even more trouble, and they ended up sending him to jail. I don't understand why the producers decided to leave out the fact that Julian was arrested at the end of the season. You know, we always get our end of the season updates. Like, they told us about Letitia's arrest, they told us about Arthur's arrest, but they left out Julian's arrest. And I just think that's so weird how they do that, how they'll just cover certain arrests, because they also did that last season. Plus, it came out about Julian's arrest right at the beginning of the season, so the producers had plenty of time to prepare and add that to the update at the end of the season. Like, if they're able to cover Arthur's arrest from the end of May, then I feel like they should have been able to cover Julian's arrest from April. But let's go ahead and talk about this season finale. Okay, so Christine finally got to do her convict comedy show, and she was very nervous. She showed up, and at the time Julian was nowhere to be found. She had a few of her co-workers there to support her, and she ends up getting on stage and she starts talking about jokes about, oh yeah, you know, I was a bank robber, but I didn't just rob one bank, I robbed 6 banks. And what I think she's doing here is she's saying jokes that she said before, which I feel like she's probably said like in confessionals or to Julian before, and she ended up getting a laugh from people when she said it previously, so she's trying to say it again to this audience thinking that's gonna hit. But the jokes and her style that she was going for, I just don't think it was the right time and place for these kind of jokes. Like, yes, this might work at a prison, or if you go to a halfway house or an NA meeting and tell jokes like this, but at a comedy club, a lot of people, I just feel like, are not gonna praise somebody who's joking around about robbing banks. And I feel like Christine is just naturally funny. I feel like if she just would have went in there and did some crowd work with people and just, you know, made it up as she went, I feel like it would have went a lot better. I get she probably didn't want to do that just so she, you know, didn't freeze up, and she wanted to make sure she always knew what she was gonna say at all times. But her trying to memorize everything didn't work in her favor, because as she's telling jokes, there's this guy that's in the crowd that keeps heckling her and being a total smartass, and it was completely throwing her off and just made her completely forget her jokes. And she was just at that point over it. She's like, okay, obviously nobody's laughing, I feel insecure about the rest of my jokes now. And Julian showed up, and he was trying his best to be supportive. He was trying to laugh and, you know, get the crowd involved. And he was even giving the guy who was heckling her some dirty looks. I feel like Christine should have just started roasting that guy. But she said, like, the convict in her was starting to come out where she was wanting to throw hands with the guy. So she just thought it was best to disengage and get off the stage. I fought for her. I really did. And that took a lot balls to get up on the stage and do that, especially with it being your first time doing a comedy show and you're also filming for a TV show for everyone to see. She had a lot on her back when it came to this comedy show. And she just wanted it to be perfect, and it did not work out at all how she was hoping. And I could feel the anxiety running through me when I saw her walking on the stage. I could feel like I was right there in that moment with all those beady eyes and the crowd looking at me. And Christine said that she has pretty much given up on her hopes of doing any kind of comedy shows in the future. I mean, Julian did try to warn her and say that he felt like a lot of people were not going to understand her style. And just like I said, I felt like she should have tried to go with a different style besides prison, because a lot of people who just go to comedy clubs, you might find a few people who understand that, but it's not going to hit with a lot of people. You live and you learn, and next time she can tinker with all her jokes and try something else. I feel like she should have had Julian sit back and practice her jokes with her, or she should have tried to like practice her jokes with some of her coworkers more before she just got up there trying to do all that for the first time. I feel like she should have made some jokes about Julian keeping her upstairs and not letting her come out of her own room in her own house half of the week while his kids are there, or made some jokes about Julian not being able to keep a job or something like that, and I feel like it would have went over a lot better. And she got upset. She ended up leaving. Julian was out in the car trying to calm her down the best he could, and I really think they're cute together. I think they're very supportive of each other. I could see them being together for a while. It seems like they're very compatible. And then she ends up going home, and she ends up telling him the next morning that she's considering doing stand-up again. And at the end, they gave us an update where she was shopping for an outfit to do her next stand-up show. So I'm very curious how that's gonna go. Christine has yet to meet Julian's kids, but she was able to meet his dad through a video chat. And I just don't understand why she hasn't met the kids yet, or why Julian hasn't tried to figure out that situation yet, because I just would not be happy. She's been out since April, and it's September going on October, so it's been about 6 months now, and he still has not told the kids about her. I feel like by now it should be about that time that he should be talking to his baby mama, trying to figure something out. Especially when you're talking about getting married and stuff. I would not want to get married to someone when I can't even come outside of my own room in the house for half the week. I would want that situation resolved at least first. But that is it for this video, guys. That's really it for Christine and Julian. Let me know what you guys thought about these two in the comments below. They will not be coming back, at least not for this next season of Life After Lockup. I don't follow either of them on social media. I'm not sure what their IG handles are. So I feel like we're not really going to hear much on them unless they get arrested again, or unless they come back for a Where Are They Now segment, which I feel like they will eventually. It seems like the producers seem to be on good terms with them. But that's it for this video, guys. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.